My name is J.C. Lee Dugard, and this is a story that I wrote, A Stolen Life. This is a story I wrote on my life. In the summer of June of 1991, I was a normal kid. I did normal things. I had friends and a mother that loved me. I was just like you, until the day my life was stolen. For 18 years, I was a prisoner. I was an object for someone to use and abuse. For 18 years, I was not allowed to speak my own name. I became a mother and was forced to be a sister. For 18 years, I survived an impossible situation. On August 26, 2009, I took my name back. My name is J.C. Lee Dugard. I don't think of myself as a victim. I simply survived an intolerable situation.
Welcome back to another interview. I am your host, Jane Smith, and we will be gathered here today for an interview with J.C. Dugard. Alright, I guess we'll just start right off with some questions. So, a vast majority of people would like to know why you didn't just run away when you had the chance. You said towards the middle of your book that you had the chance, but you didn't. Why is that?
Because when I had my children, I wouldn't have left them behind, and before that I did have a chance to run away as well, but I didn't know where I was and I was just like a young child and I wouldn't know what to do because Nancy and Philip had done literally everything for me. They had to go get my meals, they had to bring my meals to me, they did everything, so I wouldn't know how to do anything, and I wouldn't have left my two girls behind, A-N-G.
Interesting. Now, what would you have done differently at the time of your capture?
I stated in the ending of my book because how hard it was. I wouldn't have changed anything because how much I love my two girls. I have taken care of them ever since. But Nancy wanted to be more of the mother, so they acted like the mother, so they didn't know I was their actual mother for a while until we had gotten free.
During the numerous years you were captured, did you ever lose hope?
In my book, I actually do state one point when I was locked in that room. I was so bored out of my mind. I was just thinking about everything, and I did at one point think about losing hope and just giving up, but then after finding out I was pregnant and having my children, I would never ever think about giving up for them.
Interesting. What did you do as sort of a daily routine?
As a daily routine, when I was first captured, I was locked in a room, and at first I started off handcuffed and I couldn't move my hands at all, and then after a while he took the handcuffs off and I could walk around in the room. But as I got older, he would let me walk around the house. He would lock the front door, he would lock all the windows and everything. My daily routine, I'd be getting up, I'd be bored out of my mind, I would try to figure out if it's day or night. As I got older, he would let me walk out of the room and I could sit down, watch TV. He wouldn't let me write. After I'd write something, I would have to throw it away or rip it up because it's evidence, and if anyone found that, it would have been bad for him and Nancy.
That's quite interesting. Now, why did you try and block the memory of your mom?
I did when I was younger. I tried to block the memory of my mother because when I was there, I would just start crying, and they would freak out when I'd cry. And as I tried to block that memory, the memory when I did try to think of it, it faded, and I couldn't remember what my mother had looked like, and that was really painful for me to think of my stepdad and my mother and my little sister.
How did having your kids change your captivity?
Having my two girls, A and G, it changed everything, because if I did have the chance to go home, they would let me go home, but I knew Philip wouldn't let me take A and G with me. If I were to leave, they would be with him, and I would never see them again, and I wouldn't be able to do that. But before I had them, I thought about all of running and everything, but they were the major change in my life, and I love and care about them very much. I care about them more than I care myself.
As a New York Times best-selling author, do you find it hard being free at times?
Yes, I did. When I did get out of being captured by Philip and Nancy, I had to go to therapy for a while. I find it very hard to be free, because they did, like I said, they did everything for me. They had to get my meals, and they had to do everything, like get everything, and it was really hard because I didn't know what to do. I was taken at a young age. I was taken at 11, and I didn't get out until I was in my 20s, so it was really, really hard to be free, but after a while we figured it out as a family.
Interesting. Now, as sort of a wrap-up question, or to end this interview, where do you see yourself in a few years from now?
When I was captured, I did think about that a lot. I thought about getting out of where I was, and I thought because I loved to write so much when I was there, I just had to throw a lot of things away because of evidence, and I wanted to write my story, what I had gone through, and talk about all of this. If anyone else had this happen to them, they know what to do, I guess, or like they read the story and be able to get through, because anything's possible, you can get through it. So after a while, I really did want to go back to school. I loved school as a kid, and I wanted to be able to learn and discover new things, and I never had that opportunity. That opportunity was taken away from me, and my daughters, Philip let me on the computer some of the time, and when I was on the computer, it was to help my two daughters, A and G, learn new things like reading and math and science and history. And I went on websites for teaching, and I'd print out like worksheets and stuff for them as they got older. And when we did get free, they did go to school, public school, and I was terrified, and so were they. It was hard for me at first, but we all did get through it.
Not bad. All right, well, thank you for joining us this afternoon and for furthering your story.
No problem. Thank you.